You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God, and every face you see is the face of God. Oh, I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. How many of you are here for the first time today? Oh. Okay, well, welcome. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone. And someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Right now, put your hands together and welcome our spiritual leader, the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everybody. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Jew or Muslim, this door is open to you. And what is this door open for? It's open for God's support, God's love, Spirit's encouragement. That's what we're here to do. And when we come together, we can co-create. And what are we co-creating? We're co-creating our best life, a life of love and joy, happiness, health, and prosperity. This is what Spirit has called us to do. And this morning, we're coming together and saying yes to it. So know you're in a great place today, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. If you're joining us online, you're very welcome to be with us as well. It will do just as much good online as here, but of course, we're always happy to see you here. And there is a little bit extra energy here, a little bit extra sauce, I would say, Eddie. Does that work for you? A little secret sauce when you're here. So good to be here. Each Sunday, I always ask you to do just one simple thing, just one easy thing, and that is to leave all your troubles, your fears, your would-haves, your could-haves, your should-haves, to leave all that stuff outside. And for the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of spirit possibilities. And what are spirit possibilities? For more health, for more love, for more joy, for more Halloween candy, for all those things, for everything in life that makes us feel alive, because that's what Spirit is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love and joy and laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. Well, just a couple of announcements before we get going. If this is your first time visiting with us, we have a gift bag outside we'd like to give you. Make sure you get it and fill out your card, because if you do, we'll give you a free book. It's from, the book you get is from a brilliant author. Amazon can barely keep it in print. Jeff Bezos, isn't that his name? Yeah. You know, he was so worried about getting William Shatner back to space, and just as equally worried about keeping this book in print. Both of them he had a full head of hair before this book got going. So now if you come back for the second time, we give you another book. So check out the visitors table. Now also as we're getting back going here, you know, from the COVID pandemic, we're trying to get going back with our regular stuff. One thing we're wanting to do is to get our hospitality going back. So Linda, if you will stand up, she has stepped up and she's doing our hospitality. If you would like to help her out, check with her later after service and she can help get you organized to get that going. Well, I think those are all my announcements, so I can't think of anything better to do than have some really brilliant and exciting music from our own Eddie Watkins Jr. Eddie?
Yeah. Now, if you feel like standing, stand up and clap your hands. I think we're in sync. Woo. I'm alive. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. We're rocking now. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I am 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 alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit. Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Sing it one more time. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God. Last time, y'all. I am alive, y'all. Alive with the Spirit of God.
Oh, Eddie, tearing the stage apart. I love it. Eddie broke the stage. It took 5 of them to get it put back together. Thank you, Eddie. All right, after that comes the very hard task of pulling all that energy together. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to take all this exciting energy, we're going to drink it in, and through an affirmative prayer, we're going to launch it out into the consciousness of God for our health and love and joy and prosperity. And to do that, we've got our wonderful Jim Saul to come up. Come on up, Jim.
Good morning. I lost a bet. I bet that there was going to be at least 3 people in costume this morning, and there's only one. So that's a way to start out a morning. I want to talk just a moment about prayer this morning, because we do have a lot of newer people coming in, and we haven't had any classes for like a year and a half now. And usually we have newcomers classes, and that kind of introduces you to the religion that we teach here and some of the unusual things that we have here at this center. One of the unusual things is we have licensed practitioners. That's me. I have a little sign here that says practitioner. Normally it takes about 3.5 years of study to be able to become a practitioner. In my case, it was more like about 12. I had a slight inferiority complex I had to get over. But also, one of the things practitioners do is we offer free prayer work after service. We have an unusual kind of prayer. It's called Affirmative Prayer. It's praying in the positive and praying as though it's already happening, already becoming real. And I have seen over my 35-ish years here at this center, hundreds of prayers actually manifest. And now even science is pointing to prayer and saying that it affects the physical world. So we have very powerful prayers here. There are 3 ways that you can get prayer work done for you. One is come to a practitioner after service. We usually are over in this side of the room and just ask for prayer work. And we'll sit down with you for a couple minutes and do an affirmative prayer and maybe a little bit of trying to find out why you want prayer work done. The second way that you can get prayer work done is we have a little gold box over here. Write out the prayer that you want and for whom. Put it in the gold box, and throughout the week I will do prayer work over this particular item that you put in the gold box. Please write legibly. The difference between pregnancy and prosperity is only a little bit different. But the prayer work is a lot different. So please write legibly. And the third way, I think, is mostly for online people, and that is if you go to our e-blessing. If you aren't getting our e-blessing, tell somebody here and they'll get your name and your email address and get you on your e-blessing. But on the e-blessing, usually near the bottom, you'll see one of our photographs. And underneath it, there's a link for my email address. So you can email me saying, Jim, please pray for me for this or that. So those are 3 ways that anybody can get prayer work done here at the center. So that's kind of the end of my announcement. So let's go into an affirmative prayer. I recommend that you close your eyes and just relax a moment. And know with me that there is one divine intelligence, and it is everywhere present. It is accessible everywhere. And so I access it this morning right here with everybody also able to access it. And I know that this divine intelligence guides us and teaches us and goes along with us and encourages us every step of the way if we're awake to it. So this morning, I know that each and every one of us here this morning and the ones online awaken to this presence, this divine presence, and become more aware of it. And in so doing, our life becomes sweeter. our life becomes more joyful. Our life blossoms like a beautiful flower, and we just embrace the whole world with joy and happiness, and we, in so doing, affect the whole world. So that's what I know this morning, is that each and every one of us will find purpose, will find a rational approach to religion, and just beautiful words in Ken's message today. And so I know that each one of us will leave this church this morning in a better place, knowing that it's here with us. And I give thanks for all of it. And I can release this prayer simply and easily by saying, and so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Eddie?
Oh, that's the wrong song. Okay. Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God and then taking it back. Just release and let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do its thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change a thing if you knew what to do. So get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do his thing. The sun is gonna shine and the river's gonna flow. The tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and the good is flowing. You don't plant a seed, then dig it up and see if it's growing. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way and let God do his thing. We gotta do that again. Get out of the way. 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 Get out the way and let God. You better let God, let God, let God do his thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let God do his thing.
Yes, indeed. Get out of the way and let Spirit do its thing. And what is Spirit's thing? More love and more life. What does it say in Scriptures? Jesus said, I've come to life so you might have it more abundantly. That's all we're here to do. And if we get out of the way, it will happen naturally. And that's what we're doing here this morning by just releasing and letting go and giving ourselves the wonderful gift of our good attention. We're opening the doors up for miracles in our lives. So today with Halloween, I thought it would be appropriate to talk about releasing fear, letting it go. My teacher, Dr. Kennedy Schultz in Atlanta, Georgia, he loved Halloween. He was one of those people. He thought it was a wonderful holiday, and he thought it was very important for kids. So to celebrate it, we had a church of 700. And so to celebrate it, he would bring up a whole stage of these little guys, and he would read a poem from them from his childhood. And it was the Little Annie Orphan poem, the one that got the comic strip going. And it was a particularly terrifying little poem. It was about little orphan Annie, who was really good, but she warned you if you weren't good, if you didn't mind your manners, you didn't do your chores, if you backtalked, there were goblins that would come and take you off, and you'd never be heard from again. I am sure that those little kids have grown up and spent many hours on a psychiatric couch trying to get over that little poem. He also thought it was very, very healthy to dress up in a costume so that when you looked in the mirror, you wouldn't recognize yourself. He thought that was a good thing to do. Now, if you don't want to spend the time going to buy a costume and putting it on and doing all of that, just give yourself 5 to 10 years, and nature will do it for you. My dear sister, bless her soul, before she left this earth, she said that she had gone into a women's changing room, where they have those 3 mirrors, and says she had leaned over and she saw her rump in one of the mirrors, and she thought a water buffalo had wandered into the changing room with her. So it's good to talk about releasing fears, because right now we're eat up with fears. We're overwhelmed with fears. And frankly, it's kind of scary times right now, to be honest with you. But even in these times, it's best if we can move through them with clarity, mindfulness, and not having knee-jerk responses to what's going on around us, because those knee-jerk responses only will make things worse. They only make things, it will make it even worse. I had a friend, and he was a professional pilot, and they had taught him that if you were in flying and if you had an emergency, the first thing to do was to do nothing, to take a breath. Because they said, they had studied this, they had said that the first response you have in the middle of a crisis often only makes it worse. So it's good just to take a breath, to take a moment, analyze where you are, and try not to empower your fears, which is a funny thing because many people do. Eleanor Roosevelt, who was a brilliant woman, first of all, her husband had the famous quote, "The only thing to fear is fear itself." She had, I think, a more even wiser quote. She says, "Do the thing you're scared of, and the death of fear is certain." I will add, if you don't do the thing that frightens you, it will grow, and it will get to a place where it will incapacitate you. You can't do it. And when you're in that place, then other fears grow. Other fears grow. So we want to move on our fears. We want to analyze them, be clear about them, and take control over them. Don't let them control us. Dr. Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he said, fear is a belief in limitation, a denial that spirit is the center and source of all good. To overcome fear is the greatest adventure of humanity. That's what we're here doing, is overcoming fear. In Christian thought, we believe that, that in the Garden of Eden, everything was fine, and Satan came, the adversary came to humanity and whispered about sexuality, and that's what caused all the problems. Now, indeed, it does trip us up a lot. But I think if there was an adversary that really wanted us to cause us problems, it would have whispered to us, be afraid, be afraid. And it's important to realize that there are many people trying to stoke our fears. The news media, the pharmaceutical industry. What happens now, you go to your doctor's office, they have the big television screens in the doctor's office, and what are they doing? They're playing ads for drugs for conditions you don't even know you have. And of course, politicians are famous for it, and the church the church. Fear is a wonderful fundraiser. Fear is a wonderful. You give me fear and guilt, and in 6 months, I'll have a cathedral for you. A nice statue of me on top. Mm-hmm. A free nacho bar in the back. All the cheese you want. Yeah. But I'm not going to go do that because I was raised on it. I was raised on it, and I know the damage it will do. Fear is life-limiting, and it does a lot of damage, and fear can cause people to do a lot of things that they wouldn't normally otherwise do. Do you remember the musical Cabaret? There was a song in it, a very wise song. It was called "Money Makes the World Go Around." And one of the lines was, the fat little pastor comes to tell you to love evermore, but when hunger comes knocking, love flies out the door. Fear. Fear can cause us to do a lot of stuff that we wouldn't normally otherwise. My parents, I was born to elderly people, so I was never around other kids. They would drag me off to visit their friends, and I was typically the only kid there. And they played a parlor game. It was a parlor game, they really did. And it was basically how fearful things are and how awful things are. And they sought to terrorize each other with their biggest fears. One of them was that the hippies were going to take over. Yeah. The communists were coming. There was going to be another depression. That was the other thing. And if that didn't scare any of them, it was that Jesus was coming back. That was surely the most frightening thing in the world. There was one old guy, and I remember even as a kid, he reminded me from Fred of I Love Lucy because he wore his pants way up under his armpits. And the end of the night always ended the same way. He would stand up and he would point at me playing on the floor and he would say, I would hate to be the age of that child there to see what he's going to see. Well, my goodness. First of all, it didn't bother me because these people didn't even have a television. And I'm like, well, I'm going back home to watch, I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched. So I'm not worried about you. And then you think of all the other things I've seen that he could not even imagine. The internet, space travel, just all the things that make life so much easier. So this whole thing of fear of Jesus, that's to me one of the most damaging things. Early on in my childhood, I kind of rejected it all. My parents sent me to a fundamentalist school they wanted me to become a slick back hair Church of God preacher is what they had in mind. They were in for a big surprise and disappointment. But early on, I began to realize that religion and spirituality were supposed to help us. It's not supposed to make us more fearful. How can that ever be a help? I have a dear cousin. She's just a couple of years younger than I am, and she has been a wonderful, sweet, loving, kind person all her life. Really has. She sent me a poem the other day on Facebook, and it was written in the style of "'Twas a Night Before Christmas," but instead of "'Twas a Night Before Christmas" with Santa coming, it had Jesus coming. And boy, was he mad. He was coming back to get a hold of anybody he could, and they weren't going to be happy. And it just kind of broke my heart because I was like, why would this wonderful person want this kind of fear in her life? And I wanted to write her back, but then I realized, well, that's only going to scare her more. You know, she already thinks I'm some kind of heathen. So, I mean, it only was going to make her feel more, dive her deeper into her fears. But I just can't envision how they can make Jesus into this mad and vengeful person when we're told that he just tried to comfort and inspire people around him. For goodness sakes, when he was on the cross, he sought to comfort the thief next to him. So how can they make him into this angry person who's coming to wreak vengeance on people? It leads me to believe that there's some aspect of fear that we humans enjoy. There's something about it we enjoy. And I think we have to be careful with it, because I think it's kind of like having poison ivy. If you've ever had poison ivy, the temptation is to scratch it. And when you scratch it, it only makes it worse. I think this is the way with fear. We have to be careful. We have to make sure we tend to it intelligently. Now, there are some spooky aspects of life, but those typically are very small, and they normally don't show up in our lives very much. I did happen in my whole life. I have lived in 3 haunted houses. The one I grew up in as a child was a very haunted kind of place. But it wasn't haunted with an entity. It was haunted with emotion. And that emotion was loneliness. It had a severe, intense loneliness to it. Now, places can absorb energy as much as people can. Our building here, when people come in, they will tell me how good this building feels. We had 2 people who want to hold a seminar here. They came to visit last week, and the woman told me, she said, it just seems like a happy place. Well, that's because there's a lot of positive energy in this house, in this building. And so buildings can absorb energy, but they typically are a low-grade energy and can be easily shifted unless someone who has a propensity for that energy shows up. So if you happen to be a lonely adolescent and you're in a house that has a lonely energy, that can have an impact. My stepfather, many years, he lived in that house alone too after my mom died. And I had never shared my experiences with him, but he too remarked about that house and how kind of it was taxing to be there, how lonely it seemed. Now, an interesting thing about him, he was not a spiritual person by any stretch of the imagination, but after he left there, his daughter decided to move him into a nursing facility. His energy popped right back up. Just like, you have those plants that sometimes if you don't water them, the leaves just fall down. You give them a little bit of water and they just pop right back up. That's what he did. Immediately when he was around positive energy, he just came back to his natural self. Now, most of the time, this stuff you don't have to worry about. Don't go hunting for it, but you don't have to worry about it. I had a wonderful friend in Atlanta. She made her transition just this past year. Her name was Joyce Reynolds, and she was a rather famous medium. She was on the Unsolved Mysteries. Do you remember that on TV program? She was on that program. They had hired her to go tour the Queen Mary ship to see what kind of ghosts were on the Queen Mary. She had these 2 guys that had opened up a real estate agency in Atlanta, and they made millions. And they would get her every once in a while to come and check out a house that they thought might have some energy into it. And so she would go, and she would do her little thing, burn her sage, sprinkle some water, whatever. And she was charging them because, as she would always tell me, she would say, Ken, I'm not cheap. And so she was charging them $2,000 or $3,000 to go do this for each of the houses. And they were using her all the time, having her go all over Atlanta. Well, finally, she got tired of all of this, and she told them, they called her up, she told them, oh, for heaven's sakes. She said, just open the windows, put a fresh coat on the place, bring some flowers in it, play some happy music, and it'll be done. That's all you need to do. Just change the energy up. So that's all we need to do in our life is just remember, we have the power and control. Now, there are real horrors of life. There's disease, there's poverty, there's loneliness, there's turmoil and war. And we have to keep in mind that if we have to confront any of this, that we have a power to confront it. And we're powerful. We are extraordinarily powerful. You've got the power of the universe flowing through you. You don't need to be bullied by no one. And you can overcome some amazing powers, some amazing challenges. This past week, I was reminded of a heroine of mine. I heard about this woman many years ago. I was touring Prague in Czechoslovakia, and they had these wonderful museums in Prague, and I was going through one of the Jewish museums, and suddenly I went into this room, and it was full of all this children's art, and I became fascinated by it. And I heard the story of Friedel Brandeis. She was a Jewish woman. She taught art in Prague, in Czechoslovakia, before World War II. When the Nazis came into Prague, they rounded her up and the rest of the Jews. They put them into a Jewish ghetto in Prague, and there she taught art. When they rounded them up and took them to the concentration camps, with nothing but charcoal and scraps of paper, she taught art. Now, for those few moments when she was teaching those kids art with scraps of paper and charcoal, she was bursting through every bit of hell and terror and turmoil that the hate of the world could bring against her. In those moments, she had, with those kids, burst through the gates of hell. Now, she didn't survive. The children didn't survive. But amazingly, the art survived. They found a whole suitcase of this children's art after the war, and they wondered, what is this? How did this get here? And they found it was Friedel's work. And this art is still exhibited in the Jewish Museum of Prague. So I want you to know this morning, whatever you may be facing, whatever worry or fear that the world may be throwing on you, I want you to know that you have the power to stand up to it, to look it directly in the eye and grab it by the collar and shake it and say, you're not the boss of me. I am not going to allow you to scare me. You're not going to shake me. You're not going to rattle me. You're not going to cause me to do something I'm going to regret. I'm a child of the Most High. I haven't come to this life to be scared. I am here to live in courage and strength. I am here to sing the life electric. I am here to be a channel of the glory and goodness of God. And there is nothing that's going to hold me back. There is nothing that's going to keep me down. I am rising up. I'm speaking up. I'm proclaiming the goodness of God's glory made manifest through my love and joy, health and prosperity. Spirit won't have it any other way, and neither will I. I am moving on, and the glory of God is in my sight. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
We usually do this at the beginning of the service, but I think we ought to do it right now, all right? This is what I want you to do. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, from every creed and color. In kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Ooh, Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love.
Yes, we do. We come together in the name of love, and when we come together, it helps empower us. It strengthens that love, and so we can propel that love out, attracting to ourselves even more the good things of life, love and joy, health and prosperity. So we want to know that we have this coming into our lives, and to help that flow into our lives in a greater, more dynamic way, we can help support it. That's all the way. If you want more blessings in your life, then support the blessings you have coming in. Now, we support our center in consciousness and coins. Consciousness is by doing prayer work, visualizing this center growing and thriving. You know, there was at one time, there used to be 150 people in this auditorium on Sunday. So take a moment and visualize that. There was another time we had a choir of 25 people. Imagine Eddie singing with 25 people. It's going to happen, and our prayer and good work will make it happen even quicker. So if you're doing your work with consciousness, place your hand over your heart. If you're doing it through coin, use that and place it over your heart. And read with me this affirmation for prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. As we give, we receive. I want you to think about the things you're grateful for right now. Not the things you have, but the simple things like being able to take a shower, being able to drive, being free in America. The simple things. Being able to come to church and worship and hear this amazing message every Sunday. I know I'm so blessed by this message every single Sunday. And I'm so happy to be here with you. Sing with me. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So I'm going to do this closing prayer in the first person. And what I would encourage you to do is to take that energy of gratitude that Eddie has just sung about and steep yourself in it. And as I do this prayer, I'm going to do it in the first person, but take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, just hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, well, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. I am blessed, and I am grateful. I am blessed that I have this body, that I have this freedom. I am grateful that I have this community, that I have this truth, that I have come to life to experience the goodness of God right where I am, that I am here to live completely and totally, and I am here to shake off the shackles of fear forever. They have never bound me. It's only been a misconception of mine. And here today, I am lifting my eyes to a greater truth for myself. I now see myself as Spirit sees me, not as weak, not as wounded, not as lacking. I am here to be boldly courageous. I am here to be dynamically loving. I am here to experience God's goodness, love, and joy flowing through me. I am here to lift my eyes up to the breaking dawn of God's prosperity and health. I am here to witness and be a part of our world coming together in brotherhood and sisterhood, proclaiming the love and joy that God had in mind when He created us. This is not too hard for God, and it's not too good for me. This morning, I'm proclaiming it all. Every cell of my being is radiating this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last thought. Your life. It's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job today is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God is calling us to be. Until we see each other again, this is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins Jr. Many blessings.
Please stand and join us for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, that peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God bless you. Namaste.